What up, what up, what up? We back in the building, man. The Progression Podcast. I'm here with my man, Richard Nuelife Nash.
Yes, sir.
And man, we gonna start it off right here with our theme. I got a theme scripture I use now.
Okay.
And the theme scripture it comes from Second Corinthians 5 and 17.
Okay.
And it says, therefore, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creature.
Yes, sir.
Old things are passed away,
Yeah,
and behold, all things have become brand new.
Hey, I'm familiar.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
our.
sir.
That's kind of yeah.
Yeah.
So I named this segment "We Repeat What We Don't Repair."
Okay.
We repeat what we don't repair,
Okay.
and it's kind of like our past. You know, youngster, whatever we were. We learned a lot from when we was young, but we was learning wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff we was learning wrong. So they've seen you on this show before, but I want to tell you the truth, I messed up and didn't save how I was supposed to save.
Right.
So I want you on the whole platform. That's why we had to get you over again.
Well, no doubt.
Yeah,
I'm coming.
Of course.
I'm on the way.
Of course. So let's just start the first segment off. And the first segment is called Before the Bunk. Before the Bunk. So before the bunk, well, let's go way back before the bunk and tell the listeners where you from. I know where you from.
Right.
And I know, when you was a little junior. But tell them about little junior.
Well, I was one of the bad. Well, I caught a whooping every day. That's Devil Junior.
Yeah.
Man, it wasn't like every time my mama punished me for something, I challenged somebody else before my mama got home.
Yeah.
And it was a whooping in progress.
It was already laid out, like you closed
every day. I was like, I figured I can get by. I can skim through it. I ain't think it was that bad, but it wound up being exactly what I didn't want it to be.
Right.
Yeah, that was Junior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Fifth Ward.
I did.
You had several spots. You was in Coke Street.
I stayed in Coke Apartment
Street.
I stayed. Well, I stayed for the most of it. I stayed, in between Liberty Road and Collinsworth, which is right there.
We call it 2 C's,
right,
like
right.
a cavalcade. Well, they say Collinsworth.
The reason why they call that 2 C's for me is because that was our go-to park.
Yeah.
But you really think about it, I'm really from Liberty Road. But I claim 2 C's.
You from Short Liberty.
Short Liberty.
That's what we call it.
It was getting ready to end. It was getting ready to go to I forgot the name of that neighborhood down Liberty Road. But anyway, we was right there on the sharp part of Liberty Road in Lockwood by the skating ring.
Yeah, everybody know that's Short Liberty. If you from Fifth Ward, you know what Short Liberty is.
Exactly. So I grew up right there for 13 years.
Yeah.
So, from junior on up to 13 years. Yeah. We stayed in a mobile home behind my granddad's house.
Oh, yeah. Sue and Richard, your mama and daddy was in the house.
And my little sister Shay.
And your little sister Shay.
Yeah, we stayed in a mobile home. That's what I was saying. Like a lot of people don't know. Like you couldn't really just put a mobile home in front of Lockwood.
Right.
But we lived in the back of my granddad in the house, so we could put one back there.
Okay.
I grew up in a mobile home.
Okay, but I'm gonna ask you a question, and I want you to let me know. Like I say, we repeat what we don't repair. What were your influences?
So one day, my grandmother passed away, and I needed a haircut, and this dude named King used to cut hair, and for some reason I don't know why he ain't do a good job that day. I went over there across East Lockwood, and I went over there and got a haircut. And I came back. He put a whole lot of grease on my head to cover up the patches.
Yeah.
And he plugged me like 3 or 4 times.
But he made it look good.
he had me shining. I
Okay.
look like, yeah, I look like when I was shining like a soccer ball.
Oh, okay.
So when I get back to the house, and my mom was like, "Man, you need to wash all that grease out your head." So I washed all the grease out of my head, and I had patches missing all over my head.
Hmm.
And my mom said, "Son, you can't go, no, you can't go to your grandma's waking funeral looking like that." So she said, go up under that cabinet. You know, 'cause my mom used to go to beauty school,
Right.
and but she had all that stuff under the cabinet, and so
Equipment.
all the equipment. So I went up under there, got some clippers, and pretty much went to a bald head, Kanye West. I had ivory
Yeah.
leg, and and I cut my hair, and somebody in the neighborhood, one of the dudes that was hustling in the neighborhood, a lot older than me.
Right.
Hey man, come here, man. So, I mean, I'm going to club and all that. I'm young,
Hmm.
but I'm in the sixth grade. So I'm like, yeah, I try to chop you up. So that was one of my influences.
Okay.
He was one of them, and then he came over there faithfully every
But
week.
that was a good influence, though.
Right, right. So that inspired me to be cutting hair for
Hmm.
over
I
30 years.
remember. I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah. So he was one of my influences, and matter of fact, he brought the arguments to the yard. I said, man,
Yeah.
y'all can't argue in the house. So they
Yeah.
go out there outside, and they argue outside. So that was one of the influences that for the neighborhood for me to
Right.
get
Right.
out on the off the porch.
Okay. Now, crazy that I'm gonna ask you this question, cause and it goes deep. And a lot of things like I be saying stuff, and they say, "Man, you can't tell that testimony. You can't say that. That's too harsh."
Okay.
But I remember me and you. We was like 17,
Mhm.
and I called you one day, and I said, "Man, we about to go to the studio. We about to do all this stuff. We about to do this."
Mhm.
And then you like, "Yeah, yeah, I got you." Hey, but look, I'm not gonna make it tomorrow because I got something up. But man, I'm gonna hit you off, man. Y'all gonna be right, man. We gonna be cool.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, okay. And so the next day I called your house because I called your house and your mom answered the phone.
Mhm.
And this is exactly what she said. She said, oh, he's not here. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, tell him we got to go to the studio. We got to do this. We got to do that. And this is her exact words. She say, Double O, Rich is in trouble. Could you tell us what that trouble was?
Yeah, so I don't know if y'all remember Ali Sadiq. Ali Sadiq, the comedian out of Houston.
Yeah.
So we was on this case that we caught, and I went on a high speed chase. That was the case that I before I thought it was gonna be a case.
Mm.
That was the case that you were talking about.
Yeah.
And I was telling you that we're gonna be all right
Yeah.
when we
Yeah.
come up out of this, but the picture didn't come out. That movie didn't come out like
Yeah.
we
So what
planned.
happened though?
So we was down there in Baytown, and we went to a McDonald's, and the deal was already being talked about before I even came in it.
Uh-huh.
So we sitting in McDonald's, and I had enough sense enough to kind of watch my surroundings, even though I know we was like I wasn't around the whole conversation of the deal.
Right.
I'm looking and I'm seeing back then it was Crown Victorious, so
Mm.
I'm seeing them circling them.
When you see them. Yeah.
I'm seeing them circling the parking lot and the what's called and the McDonald's. And I said, hey man, I'm seeing them Crown Victoria circling. I say, oh man, ain't nothing. All right, cool. So we leave there. They say, okay, we about to do the deal. We need to bring it because the stuff was in our trunk.
Mm-hmm.
So there's two people in the front seat and I'm in the back seat. And like I said, Ali deep there in the hotel already. And we pull up to the Shoney's. Shoney's.
Oh yeah, I know they had the hotel and the breakfast spot.
I forgot the name of the hotel, but it's
Yeah.
always was the Shoney's and something else in
Mm-hmm.
front of them. But
Shoney's had a hotel before.
right.
It was a hotel called Shoney's,
Oh, okay, okay.
and it had a restaurant outside.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Well, we didn't get to go in neither one of them. I
Yeah.
did. So we pull up on the side of the place, and that's when the deal's supposed to take place, or whatever.
Right.
But at least D and my other partner in the room, they was already getting arrested.
Right.
And from that point, when we realized that this was a setup with the laws, well, we went on high speed chase. We closed the trunk, jumped in the car, jumped through the ditch, jumped on I-10, and speed all the way. So of course, I know the east side.
Uh-huh.
I tell them let's get off on Uvalde.
Yeah.
So we get off on there and make a left going down Market, and we still on the high speed chase. So by now we got Baytown laws behind us, we got the feds behind us, and we got the
HVD.
sheriff
Oh yeah.
from Dale. The sheriff's picked up on us.
Oh wow.
And then when we hit Uvalde and go down Market, that's when HPD coming from this way. But by then they already had the helicopter.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You ain't getting away.
So for some apparent reason, uh, I'm thinking I could jump out and take off running. Well, we run into a fire hydrant. I jump out the car and start running. And I don't know if you remember we grew up when we watched cartoons when the cartoon characters started running
Yeah.
and they never run, never leave at one spot.
Yeah.
I felt like that. And then
Yeah.
the dude say, get Carl Lewis, get Carl Lewis. Say, pow, pow. I said, oh, Carl Lewis down. So I jumped down on the ground, man. Of course, they roughed me up, kicked me in my jaw, and that. So that from that point right there, that ride from Baytown took us back to Baytown, and then on the way back towards Houston, taking us to the county jail, we was passing up East Lockwood, and I was like, man, y'all can let me off right here.
Man.
It was crazy because I was like, man, I live right here, and then I go,
I don't supposed to be here.
Man, I don't even supposed to be in this situation. And I thought about that. I say, man, the whole little rap career that I thought I was finna have is over with.
And that's a crazy thing. What I was thinking about once I started learning what happened, and so then things started moving for the Fifth Ward Boys when we started going to like doing studio time and doing songs and all that stuff. And so by you being in the wrong place at the wrong time, but you thought it was the right place at the right time, but it was the wrong place at the wrong time.
Right.
Now you don't get to partake in that first album.
Right.
The Fifth Ward Boy album.
Well, I at least had a little kickoff start thanks to you.
Yeah. The rhymes, we all knew each other rhymes. That was a cold thing. Like we all practiced and we knew each other rhymes. I say, man, well, we got these songs already done. I don't have to say his rhymes, man. Right. So I started rapping his rhymes. Me and Rock did some too, but we condensed it. Fifth Ward Boys. It's still us three though, and we hoping. We young. We 17, 18. We ain't got the wherewithal to get you out.
Yeah.
And then them laws ain't want to let you out either.
Yeah, they had a federal hold on me.
And so think about this. So you didn't get to do that, right? But then you get out. And then you get on. We all back together. We hitting the road. We doing all this stuff, right? So, like the name of this is we repeat what we don't repair. Right. So it must be something in your mind. It's like we talk about dogs all the time, pit bulls. Like, they nice sometimes, but it's an enzyme in their head that they'll click one day and go off on you. You've been with them for years. So that was just your first stint. Right. So something, you didn't repair something, so you repeated the same thing. And I'm gonna tell you, this I don't think I ever told you this, but E-Rock told me one day. He said, "Man, I think the police called Richard's phone."
He did,
and they told him something. What I forget what he told you though.
He called. They called my phone because by then the you talking about this last
the second one?
Okay, yeah. So what happened was they had a dude that was selling these sidekick phones, flip out, so it was real, classic, what I'm saying, some up to date type stuff, and so they had the dude that had the snitch had then told them the confidential informant
Yeah,
had
yeah,
then
yeah.
told them that
He'll snitch too. Yeah.
right. So you can talk to him and talk to him about that. So I'm thinking that the little dude then got jammed up with the phone that he had.
Hmm.
So when they called, they was like, "Hey man, we doing." He said, "We doing a thing on these phones, and is this Richard Nash?" And I was like, "Yes, sir." He was like, "Well, yeah, we doing such so on the phone, and we just trying to." I say, "No, I got my own phone. I paid for my phone. I don't steal. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?"
yeah.
So when he said that, he clarified my name was to make sure that he was talking to the right person. But me
Yeah.
not knowing that that's what
That's an identity right there. I just identify who I.
identified who I was
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
to, and I said yes to it because I was like, well, nah, I don't steal phones. I got my
Right,
own
right.
phone. So they did call me. They
Yeah.
and me not knowing still that it had nothing to do with what was about to take place.
So then, what did take place?
So the dude that was confidential informant, he came down and bought some drugs, and he got caught in the bus station.
Okay.
And so what they did was, so they locked him up, but he did a deal with the DA that he'll bust who
He'll get whoever was
he
down
bought
there,
the dope from.
and you was one of them dudes.
I was the dude. I was the dude
Yeah,
that he
yeah,
always thought, yeah.
yeah.
So he came back. He came back and bought some again to make it look good.
Right.
So I was like, oh, okay, well,
So
he
now
just
you in though.
right. So now I'm like, okay, well, the time he was missing wasn't nothing wrong, 'cause I
Yeah.
had talked to his daddy. His
Right.
daddy said, yeah, he in a little trouble because he said he was going home to beat his girlfriend up.
Wow.
So I thought that's what. So I said, well, I mean, if he need my help, I help him out, whatever, just let me know. He said, okay, well, and I ain't catch on to his dad say he in a little trouble in Texas.
Yeah.
I,
He told you.
yeah. So, so when he come back and he asked to borrow one of my shirts to wear to go back home in. That was the shirt that he was trying to give me when he came back so he can know that this was the shirt, another identity.
Right.
I was like, man, just keep the shirt. I ain't tripping on leaving in the room, whatever. And we go and we sitting, me and him sitting in the car, and no, he's standing outside the car. We had Shauna's again.
Right.
It's on the southwest side this
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And I'm in the car with two police officers, not knowing
I
this,
know.
and they had a wire in the car, but he had a wire on him. So by both of the wires being on at the same time, it was
It's
so that
cross.
it didn't pick everything up
Right.
as far as that conversation. And I'm looking at $166,000 right here in a Fiesta bag. So this whole thing is looking like
Yeah.
it's looking like it's this
If I can make it today, it's over. It's good.
this a done deal.
Yeah.
And that day, that man rode all that day until his battery went down, and we came up with all kind of solutions to fix the problem, just to get it done.
Right.
And I ran into the dude from Street Military, uh,
Icy.
Icy Hot.
Yeah.
He had a backpack on. I was walking. I said, "Yeah." I said, "Man, I'm gonna get give me your number right quick." So I got his number and all that. And then that was the last time I had seen him. And man, I that night I seen the same people that had chased me
Hmm.
in Angus home. They chased me, and they was following me. They wasn't chasing me. They was following me, but I shook them.
Right.
And I went through this little spot, and I know went off 249 and made it. I'm like, man. So anyway, make a long story short, we all the way on the southwest side now this time, and I see these same laws, but then they like I'm seeing them, but I'm on the
Right.
X pill. So
Yeah.
like it's like transforming to me.
Yeah.
But I actually see these people. So I tell my homeboy, I say, hey man, look at them dudes that just came through the gate. They kind of look like the dudes that were chasing us that day. And he said, "Oh no, I see him. No, that's a different car. They ain't saying, but I'm seeing all the stuff that's happening. So we go inside this house, go inside the apartment, and I go outside to look for my sidekick phone.
Mm-hmm.
And they call me and tell me, hey, come back in the house because he's getting scared. He think you're going out there to get something, and their stuff is on the way. I'm like,
Right.
I'm not supposed to bring no stuff. Ain't nobody gave me no money.
Right.
But they did.
Hmm.
So as soon as I walked in the house, I said, hey man, can I, follow me? He's like, huh? I said, can I follow me? He's like, As soon as I sit down, man, knock on the door. He said, who is it? Police. I say, the police? Who called them? They not supposed to be here. Yeah. I said, man, all I could think was everything for sure this time.
Right.
Is over with. I'm not gonna never get to rap no more. I'm gonna be away from my family, my kids, and all that stuff, man. And man, my life had flashed before me, and then I thought about it and say, man, I'm gonna wind up losing my mom and my dad in prison. Cause I'm not gonna snitch on nobody. Right, so I was like, whatever they give me or whatever time I get, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, so, yeah. And that was my life flashed before me that day. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. I did though, real quick. I did see the informant in a dream on a bus. Because he was going back and forth on the bus. Right. So I get on the bus in my sleep and I'm walking down the aisle and he at the back of the bus. He the only person on the bus. And I wanted to ask him, why you do this to me, dog? And right when I was getting ready to ask him, he like, man, he was about to explain himself. And then I woke up and I was crying in my sleep. So that was like, man, you got to do something different this time.
Man. Yeah. And so you ended up on that case, you ended up doing like 7 years, right?
I ended up doing 7 years.
On a 30 or something.
On 35. Like 35. Yeah.
So you ended up doing 7 years. Okay, now I want to talk about that you went that first time, repeated the same get this lit thing, and so now it's time to repair your whole mindset, right?
Right.
So in that 7 years, you repaired your mindset through the Texas Department of Corrections. Right. And they say it's the corrections to correct you, right? Or something, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's all in the mindset, because some people don't get corrected. They go down there and then they, right? Because we did it too. Yeah. We did some and then did it again. Yeah. But what made it different this time after the bunk that you came home? What made it so different that you knew you weren't gonna go back to do that?
Because when I first got locked up, and when I went in the county and I got my time, they call you to sociology. So when I went to sociology, the lady asked me what did I want to do, as far as like when I go to prison and when I come home. And I said, well, I want to drive trucks. I was trying to think of something I know make money and I know it's gonna be some, yeah. And she said, well, they got truck driving down there. I said, well, put me down. So she wrote me down for truck driving. Cool. Yeah. So I went through all these units. I got shipped from here to there to the Law Library unit and got in trouble over here at this unit and got shipped on the unit where the truck driver was.
And that's divine intervention.
See what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm like, okay, well, I'm over here now, but I still want to go home. It's not that I ain't really care too much about getting in the truck driving because I was in general population in regular business. I went on the camp. So I wound up getting on the camp and I put in for truck driving, but they were saying that I was too old. They wanted younger dudes in it, and I had too much time. They wanted to get the ones that was getting ready to go home to put them in the program.
Yeah, I get it.
So, but I wound up, I was cutting the one there, the major, the lieutenants. I was officer barber.
And they got you in.
And they was over. The major was over. The lieutenant was over. He was over. Yeah. And the warden was best friends with one of the instructors. Wow. So he's like, you got to set out what you want to do. I said, well, since I ain't going home, I want to get in truck driving. He said, well, why you ain't tell me? I said, because I wanted to go home. Yeah. But now I'm getting in. So he put me in truck driving. And I get in truck driving. And I'm telling you, we went on lockdown because somebody tried to. They ain't escape, but they jumped the fence, went to Walmart, bought some tobacco, came back to the unit, so they shut the whole unit down. Right. So within this time, gave me enough time to study this part that I kept failing in truck driving. And I studied the whole time. I said, man, I got to get these CDLs. Man. I got to go home. And I wound up getting CDLs. And as soon as I get my CDLs, 2 weeks later, I made parole.
And then you came home.
And then I did a 6-month program, which I went and got my HVAC license.
Oh, yeah.
You know, certified commercial, everything for HVAC license. So I wound up getting 2 trades.
Yeah.
For the price of one. You know what I'm saying?
But see, that's what I'm saying. See, those mindsets, like we were saying, if we don't repair, we repeat, you know.
Yeah.
So we repeat what we don't repair. So your mind is getting repaired in there, right? So that when you came home, you started driving trucks.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did you start driving trucks, you started writing movies. You start writing music again, putting out music, doing videos.
Yeah.
Man, I have to salute you because it seems like you had your hand on about 4 movies at one time.
Right.
You know, and they still penning, they coming because you still writing.
Oh yeah.
And then you got the clothing line.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, man, now you in a good space, and you can tell the brothers down there that's in the bunk, because you talking about before the bunk, you talking about after the bunk. You can tell the brothers that's in the bunk right now, because this is going to be on Securus JPay platform.
Right.
So the brothers that's down there in Darrington Memorial, Holiday, whatever, they can hear you right now.
Right.
So can you give a message to the cat that's in the bunk right now? What to do, what tangible things he can do right now where he at to get his mind straight.
I'm gonna tell you a couple of things, and I'm gonna tell you the phrase when you say repair.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you a phrase that I came up with when I was like, I can't do this no more. Okay. I can't come back no more. So by a dude got shipped from a unit, and he didn't know why he got shipped. He had 35 years, just like me. But he hadn't done 11 years. Shipped him to the camp. He's like, man, I ain't even did nothing. I don't even know why I'm here. Like, I ain't even did nothing. So he'll cross with me.
Yeah.
He tell me, he say, hey, man, all I can tell you is, because we talking, we pretty much got similar cases.
Right.
You know, non-ag, 35, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he was like, man, he said, don't sit down here and don't get a trade. He said, it's free.
Don't waste your time.
He said, man, look, you got to go home with something to keep you from coming back here. And then guess what? He was on the chain the next day. They sent him back to his unit again.
Man, that might have been somebody like that little boy with the fish and Jesus and stuff, man. Because they say, when Jesus fed the 5,000, he had the little boy had some fish and bread. Yeah. And some things they say that wasn't even a real person.
Right.
It was just everybody seen him that day.
Yeah.
But nothing was said about that little boy later on.
Man, he was just there a couple of days enough to communicate with me because I was a set. And he opened up and told me, kind of down there at first when he first started acting a fool and doing tripping and all that. He said, but he had got to a point where he was like, when he left all that stuff alone. And he was like, I don't know why I'm here.
So he dropped that in your spirit to do that. But see, that's what I'm talking about. I gotta put this on here though, dog.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is a verse that I was reading. It's in Colossians.
Okay.
It's a verse. Okay. It say, don't let anyone capture you with empty philosophies and high-sounding nonsense that come from human thinking and from the spiritual powers of this world rather than from Christ. It's like we listen to a lot of people. But let me say this.
Okay.
I just got to say this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to keep you long.
Yeah.
Why do we replicate, we replicate moves that we know ain't worked in the long run.
Right, right.
You know, we done seen a million dudes go to jail on our block
Hmm.
for doing this.
Yeah.
We done heard, oh, they caught such and such. Oh, he was balling for 5 years, but when he got 30 years, I mean, he
Hmm.
could have worked at McDonald's for that little money, right?
Right.
So why do we replicate moves that we know won't work, and we listen to people that steer us down? That's why I say don't let anyone capture you with empty philosophies.
Mm.
Dudes be saying, like they say, jailhouse preachers sometimes, or jailhouse lawyers or whatever.
Right.
They'll say, "Oh man, you ain't got to do that. You
Mhm.
man." Say, man,
Excuse me.
let me tell you, I commend you for getting your mind right, and you telling that dude told you in that bunk, don't be down here playing no games. Really,
Right.
it's time to get it. And then the next day he was gone.
3 days he was gone.
He was gone.
3 days he was gone.
But that still stuck with you, and it still stick with you today.
To this day.
That's right.
And because I was like, if I wouldn't have just went all the way with what he said,
Right.
because I was already in the play, but I was like, okay, man, I want to go home.
Now
But
it's
when he,
serious.
man, I need to give me a trade while I'm down
Yeah. So in the bunk, I suggest that you read everything you can read to empower yourself to get yourself right. The Bible is a good thing to start reading, but I wouldn't read the King James version. I would read, like, I started on a teen Bible,
there. Yeah.
that could really listen to me. I
Right.
could really just understand. So read, get your trades, any program you can get in, man, get in it. Get your mind, turn your mind to still while you in that bunk right now, man.
Yes, sir.
Don't listen to foolish stuff, man. Get away from that. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole world out here waiting on you.
Yeah.
Your family is waiting on you. Now that you have a beautiful family, man,
Yeah.
and I see the great things that you're doing with your family. You really involved with your sons, uh, your daughter, and and your wife and everything. And so, man, I just commend you, man, brother.
I
I
appreciate it,
really
man.
do,
I
man.
appreciate it.
I really do.
But vice versa.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
vice
I'm trying.
versa.
I'm
Yeah,
trying my best,
yeah,
brother. You
yeah,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
So, this is what I want you to. I want you to. This is what we call our phrase at the end of every show.
Cause I still want to tell you how I repaired.
Come on, shoot, we got time.
You have a certain phrase you gonna use? Cause I
No, no,
want
no,
okay.
no.
Cause the phrase that I was
Give
gonna
me
tell
that
you,
phrase.
the phrase I think you might have heard me say it when we was on the down to you at that time.
Okay.
But this phrase I came up with because I was like, man, I said, man, I don't want to get back out there because I already know it's temptation.
Right.
Like I felt like I was a pretty good hustler. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And maybe I shouldn't just go that hard no more.
Yeah.
Go with another. So I just don't want to go like that.
Mm.
So I said, it was the one thing I said, a prayer that I prayed. I say, whatever I ain't going home to, all the stuff that I've been thinking about, worrying about people owe me money, take it away right now. So when I go home, I won't have to worry about it.
Mm.
So I started losing a lot of stuff.
And it won't be on your mind.
Won't be on my mind. So he asked my prayers with that. So the phrase was, don't go home the same way you came in.
Mm.
That phrase is the phrase I live off of today. So I
That's it.
still live off like I'm not going back.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? So that phrase right there meant a whole lot to me in my walk because I was still learning how to walk. You know what I'm saying? Because I was still seeing people walking. I see them walking. And then I see them get caught packs of cigarettes and
Mm.
smoking weed and stuff
In the
in
spot.
prison.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I don't want to do that. I'm like I don't want to lose all of that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Because
that
if you don't practice now,
I'm gonna
in
get back
now,
out there
get out there. What we don't
and do the same
repair,
thing.
we repeat.
Right. So that was that phrase was like on the I know we they don't do that no more today. when our inner tubes used to bust,
Oh yeah.
we go to Western Auto and get the patches, and we
Yeah.
put the patches on. Then we put it up under the one of the seats legs on the seat
Yeah.
or something until it dry and
Right.
fix the patch. That phrase was my patch.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
And so that really coincides with our ending saying that we say on every show.
Right.
Don't let your yesterday kill your tomorrow.
Right,
Don't
man.
don't let your yesterday kill your tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
So yeah, you did that, did years in prison,
Yeah.
but now you come home to the future you're supposed to have. So the people out there that's listening to me on the JPay platform and the Securus platform, man, don't let your yesterday kill your tomorrow. Listen to my homeboy, man. My homeboy, he did time, had a messed up mind, but hey, he here though. He here now. He here
Season.
now.
Season.
Good.
Yes, sir.
That's that love, man. Hey, Progression Podcast, man. We glad that you came and let us have a good little time with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So this my
appreciate
man,
you.
Richard Nash,
Yeah.
man. Hey, and guess what? I'm putting this on tomorrow.
Man, put it on.
I'm putting this on tomorrow. It's
Man,
gonna
put
be
it on.
live on tomorrow. I got you.
Okay, man.
I
Hey,
got
man.
you. I'm gonna give it to you today though.
Good. I appreciate
But
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's gonna be live tomorrow, guys.
Okay.
So you got an iPhone now, so you can listen to on the iPhone. But I got everybody on Samsung or you got Google, whatever.
Right.
They can listen
They
to.
still can. You still can
Yeah,
get it.
everybody can get
Yeah.
it now, man.
Mhm.
God has showed favor, dog, and so, man, we just gonna keep pushing, man.
Hey, man, brother, I
We're
love
gonna
you,
keep
and
pushing.
I appreciate you. Having me here. You know
That's
what I'm
what's
saying?
up, man.
And hey, yeah, we gonna keep pushing.
Hey, man, the Progression Podcast. We thank you, man. My man, Richard Nash. Give it up.